Hi, my name is Sean and I run a product strategy agency called Next Step. Today what I want to talk to you about is the build phase for your product. So you should have already successfully completed customer discovery and solution design, and if you have, you should be ready for the build phase for your product. So let's talk a little bit more about it. Before we talk more about what is included in the product build phase, let's talk about what you should have completed by now. That should include customer discovery, solution design, and the first steps in beginning to set up your pilot, which is providing a few early stage customers with access to your product once it's available. If you're unfamiliar with any of that, refer back to a previous video of mine to learn more. The next steps from here are going to be to build your product as quickly as we can around the criteria that we've identified, which is critical for solving those top problems and providing access to your early stage customers so that you can have a successful pilot as quickly as possible. The reason why the product build phase is so important is we can only validate so much without the actual product in the hands of our early stage pilot customers, for which our focus is mainly going to be on making sure that that product does in fact solve the top problem that we've identified. Something to keep in mind during this product build phase is what we want to do is keep our product as simple as possible, bring it to market as quickly as we can for those pilot customers, and both of those things should help us maximize our budget and keep our spend down. So let's review some of the key goals for the product build phase. Number one, once the product is available and in use with our pilot customers, we want to ensure it's being used consistently and that it is in fact solving their top problems. That is one of the most important elements of this phase. Number two, we talked about designing and building your business model. Your pilot customers more than likely should be paying for access for your product as part of this phase. That is a key validation component. Again, there are exceptions, but that piece is very important. Number three, what we're looking to do is learn from this phase as much as we can so we know what we need to do to improve our product experience and scale from there. I want to talk to you a little bit more about this concept of an MVP, or minimum viable product. Your MVP should be kept as simple as possible with a strong focus on solving that top problem. We also want to build your MVP as quickly as possible so that we can better manage budget for your project. And remember, the key here is to get the MVP into the hands of those pilot customers as quickly as we can. So there's lots of tools you can use to build an MVP, or minimum viable product. Our blog article goes into this in quite a bit more detail, which will be linked below, but I want to review a few of them here so you can do a little bit of research on your own on these tools if you'd like to. There are a few tools that are typically designed for building websites. One of the favorites of mine is called Webflow. It's a little bit newer. It's similar to a WordPress, but it gives you more customizability. Now, it doesn't need to be used just for building websites. You can always use this to design interfaces for an application, and it's very flexible and provides a lot of integration capability. In addition to that, there's tools like Typeform, which is an online web form that looks great on the web, looks great on mobile, and it can be used to collect data throughout various aspects of your minimum viable product. The third tool, which I'm going to mention, is used for connecting a lot of the dots here and moving data around. That's a key part of building an application, but at this early stage, we don't really want to scaffold something custom because that's very time consuming and expensive. And again, we still have quite a bit left to validate. That third tool I'm referring to is called Zapier. Zapier gives us the ability to create what we call zaps, which moves data around from one place to another based on what they refer to as their zaps. So those are some of the custom kind of tools that you can integrate together and connect to create a product experience for your first version. Now, if you're looking for something that's got a little bit more of all of this kind of built into one ecosystem, we recommend no-code or low-code development tools. One that we've used quite a bit at Next Step is called Bubble. This Bubble tool has a lot of these capabilities built into the same ecosystem, so you can build everything in one spot, which is really nice. So once your product MVP is complete, we want to provide access to your pilot customers as quickly as we can so that we can start measuring their experience. We're going to do this throughout another set of discovery interviews with them. We're going to learn more about what their experience has been like, what they may not like, and whether or not we've been able to provide them with value in solving their top problem. So the next steps from here are to learn everything we can from this pilot phase so that we know what we need to do to iterate and scale your product from here. For more detail around the product build phase, read our blog article on our website, which goes into the product build phase in much greater detail. And if you need any help with this MVP phase or no-code or low-code prototypes, reach out to me at Next Step because we offer these services. You can email me, Sean at nextstep.io. That's Sean, S-E-A-N, at nextstep, N-X-T-S-T-E-P.io.